Hello, everyone. Welcome to the certificate course on criminal psychology by Psychoshiksha.
In the previous class, we have covered about the scope of criminal psychology and what is criminal psychology is all about and how you can become a criminal psychologist in India as well as in foreign lands and what are various job areas where you can work as a criminal psychologist. In this particular session, that is our session 2, we are going to talk about crime and behavior. Here you will understand that why somebody become a criminal, what are the potential reason or causes we look in as a criminal psychologist when we are focusing on somebody who has committed a crime. But before we begin, a very common question for everybody who is watching this: do you think criminals are born or they are created? Do stay this question in your mind and then go through with the upcoming slides coming to your way. But before I answer this very particular question, because it's a debatable question and it's a debate altogether, I personally can believe that they are created. Some can believe no, they are born with it. You all can have your own personal viewpoint. But as a psychologist, we need to view it in a dual nature. Now, before we begin, I would like to read this particular slide for you all. Children begin life with certain inherent biological capabilities and predisposition that interact with specific familial, social, and cultural circumstances. Personal capabilities and predisposition affect how the environment influence the shaping of behavior, and reciprocally, the behavior can modify biological tendencies. For example, a child may be born with average intelligence, but a stimulating and enriching environment can lead to achieve beyond those possible in a deprived environment. In addition, these achievements may nourish further biological growth. This constantly changing nature of the interaction between biology and environment is one of the most exciting aspects of developmental criminology. Now, what this particular paragraph is talking about is saying that we as humans are a combination of our environment and our upbringing. We are the combination of nature and nurture. And most of the time what happened that with the environment we go beyond our natural capacity, we go beyond our biological tendencies. So a child may be born with an average intelligence, but if is given a enriching or stimulating environment, can do wonders in life. On the other hand, child may be born with a very brilliant IQ, yet is given an environment which is not stimulating, which is not enriching, child will somehow get depleted in. Now, when we talk about criminals, somehow I do believe that we all have certain biological personality traits that are responsible for becoming or acting up in a criminal way. But along with that, the environment around us also push us in that very particular direction. I'll continue on the same note, but let's begin with our slide. Let's begin with our next slides and we'll cover all the topics slowly and steadily. So, crime and human behavior. What are human tendencies and human behavior are related and which can be come up as a cause or as help us in predicting that somebody can commit crime. So we'll start with a historiological approach of psychology coming to the modern approach and modern notions or causes of why somebody is committing a crime or how we can say that yes, this person can be a criminal. Coming to early explanations. Now, when we talk about early explanation, the first thing that come here is demonic possession. Demonic possession, definitely people used to believe in previous times that people who are committing crime, they are dominated or they are in control of some evil spirits because of which they are mentally not very sound, and that is why they are committing certain crimes. Okay, they are killing people, they are not understanding human emotion, not thinking about the society as a whole. But it's a very old notion, and in present time, in modern society, nobody believes in these bhoot pret. Although, yes, black magic is a very trendy word coming up nowadays. We can say that the person who is performing black magic or who want to control other people life with the help of black magic are somehow demons in their own or have evil spirits around them. But yet, it's debatable and it's conflicting statement to come up if I say it as a fact. So We as a psychologist do not believe in this particular field. For us, it was an old notion, and with the modern psychology, things are changing. Second is physical shape. Now, if you all can, you must be thinking that how, how the way somebody is looking, we can say that this person can be a criminal or not. Just go back and recall the days when there is a certain structure of villains as well. Villains used to look like in a certain way. By looking at them, we can say, okay, he is a hero and he's a villain. Okay, so that means certain physical feature, the height, the complexion, the clothes, the anger in their voice, something come up which depicts that yes, they are the villains of the movie. And the same happens when we talk about criminals. So it was believed that criminal used to have huge jaws, they used to have big jaws, asymmetrical faces, and large ears. But yes, no scientific uh, you know scientific research has come up which says that certain appearing people can be criminals only. But yeah, there was a way of judging people when we look around that, okay, how and somebody can commit crime or not. But nowadays, I believe that with the change of social media and with the change of time, people have learned the art of fooling other. People have learned the art to fake themselves, to pretend in a certain way that it is difficult for us to understand by just looking at them that what is actually going on in their mind. Third reason was definitely mental retardation. It was believed that people who are mentally not very sound, they end up committing crime because they are not able to understand emotions nicely. Their problem solving ability is also not very good, and that is could be the main reason they end up committing various crimes. The next term here is a rational choice. A very important part that we are going to talk about here is the rational choice. All decisions, even criminal ones, are a result of rational choice, or a reward can be emotional as well as financial. Offender weigh their personal needs against the difficulty and the risk of committing a crime. Fear of punishment has a deterrent effect on the choice to commit crime. Swift and certain punishment is the best way to control it. Now, as a psychologist or as a criminal psychologist, I firmly believe that not all but majority of people who are committing crime, they are making a rational decision. They are consciously deciding that yes, I am going to kill somebody. There are people who say that in the verge of anger, we have killed somebody. In the verge of anger, it just happened. Okay, that could also happen. Let's keep that cases aside. But there are cases when it's planned. You're planning an accident. You're planning how to kill somebody. When we talk about psychopaths, they are the charming criminals and they plan the crime in a certain way that it is difficult to caught them also. So it's a rational choice that they make. Why they make a choice is because they have some rewards. So people who take money to kill other people, okay, they are also the criminals only, and the one who is giving money is also one sort of a criminal only in the eye of laws. They are achieving something emotional and somebody is getting some financial benefit. But whatever benefit you're calculating it. You're weighing it that what is my personal need, what difficulty will I be getting. And I have interviewed certain criminals, and when I talk to them that why have you killed that particular person? Why have you killed your wife, for example? So a offender come up to me and said that because she was cheating on me. And I was like, because she was cheating on you, you could have been separated from her. Why did you decide to kill her? So he said that because I was so angry, I wanted to punish her. I cannot wait for the God to punish her. I wanted to punish her, so I killed her. Because, but now the law is punishing you. So what? I'm here for 7 years, 10 years, I have life ahead. So, you know how rationally they decide that yes, I want the power, I want to punish somebody, and what punishment I am getting after 10 years, 15 years, or even 20 years, I'll be out. I can live my life then. Okay, so they do understand, they calculate everything. Even a certain and swift punishment can definitely lower down the crime rate, but somebody who has thought up in this way that I want to punish, I am the one who has suffered, so I cannot wait for the god or karmas to do something for that person. I should take an initiative. So, such people, and I think for such people, even the swift and certain punishment will also not able to control the crime level. It's the psychoeducation that somehow help. Now, the another explanation that come for why certain people commit crime, comes in psychoanalytic theory, which is given by Sigmund Freud. So Sigmund Freud has understood human behavior by early childhood experiences. So he said that criminality is linked to guilt feelings, unresolved Oedipal and Electra complexes. We all know what is Oedipus and Electra complexes. One where we get sexually attracted to our opposite parent. Now, criminality is linked with the guilt feeling. This we need to highlight. Whenever you interviewed people or whenever we analyze why you have committed a crime, we will understand that there is some kind of a guilt associated in them. Okay. It's like that, something good has not happened to me and I am not going to happen the good to other person as well. Okay. Or, there is something like you have taken the credit or maybe the blame of a very small thing and it is eating them up again and again. And now you are deciding that, okay, let me do something bigger and get the blame of that because it will help me. So, yes, criminality is somehow related with a lot of guilt feeling or not able to do well or not able to stay up the way you wanted or your parent wanted or not able to fulfill the expectations of the parents is a very common thing which can be a cause of why youngsters are getting into criminal behavior. Now, three main principles of psychodynamic theory, when applied to delinquent criminal behavior, are that delinquent behavior can be traced to faulty relationship in family during first years of life. These faulty relationship results in inadequate ego and superego development. These inadequacies turn in turn to make it impossible for the child to control later delinquent impulses. So yes, if ever you have seen your family fighting or there is a faulty relationship in the family, parents are fighting constantly, okay, not you know there's not respect for anybody. Father is hitting the mother, mother is again hitting back the father, or mother is hitting the mother-in-law, or mother-in-law is hitting the mother. The child has seen these things. So child will not able to develop his ego, or his or her ego or superego nicely. The moral grounds are very weak for them because superego is related to your morality principle, and the reality grounds are also very poorly developed. The child will never able to understand that in reality how things work and morally and ethically what is right, what is wrong. The child will always remain in that conflict, which somehow push him to perform delinquent behavior. Okay, because every person get anger. Short temperament is something a very common phenomena. Even I get angry, but in the words of anger, I don't kill people because I am coming from an environment which was very safe. Okay, my parents have not fought with each other. They have developed my morality grounds very nicely. They have told me that you're not supposed to hurt other people. You need to be empathetic. Okay, but when we are not teaching the same, and the child is learning that nobody is bothered by anybody's feeling or emotion or whether they are in pain or not, the child learns the same and hence act up in a negative manner to the society. Now, continuing with the Freudian approach, John Bowlby, he's a psychologist that has studied about the attachment styles, studied 44 juvenile delinquents and compared them with non-criminal disturbed juveniles. 39% of the delinquents had experienced complete separation from their mother for 6 months or more during the first 5 years of their lives, compared with 5% of the control group. Early maternal deprivation was causally related to delinquent behavior. Yes, it is been proven that children who get separated from their mother at an early time, especially from the age group of 0 to 3 years, when the breastfeed was a main supplement of food for the child, that children develop delinquent behavior very easily because they have not understand the concept of warmth. Okay, many of the time when you listen about any crime scene happening, for example, a boyfriend chop off the pieces of the his girlfriend and kept it in refrigerator. We listen and we're like, oh, how can somebody do it? How can you cut someone into pieces? Okay, uh, मेरे को तो, when listening to this news, I'm feeling pain. Okay, many people say these things. Why that person who is performing this act is not feeling pain? Because the child, when he was a child, he did not understand the concept of love, affection, nurturing, okay, being close with somebody. Okay, now he has never understand the concept. So for him, giving pain to other person is the only source of power he can execute, and he can only understand about giving power, no pain, no remorse, no empathy for the person who is suffering. The another psychologist that we talk about today is Erik Erikson. Erik Erikson says that many people enter into criminal behavior because of identity crisis, because he talked about that we all go into identity formation and identity confusion at our adolescent. And when we remain stuck in that particular stage, we are not able to form an identity nicely. We end up looking for wrong ways to develop our identity. Because, there is a saying that says that even if I could not make my name, okay, I can at least come into bad books and then be remembered as a bad boy or as a bad girl, if I cannot be remembered as a good or an average person. And there's a movie called Berlin, and a lot of movies that have showed this kind of a script. What happened in that very particular movie, Berlin, is that a person is deaf and dumb and he kills somebody, okay, and the only purpose behind it is just to become famous. Just to become famous, just to be remembered that a deaf and dumb person can kill people. Deaf or dumb person can plan out a murder just for that. No other purpose behind it. That means the person just wanted to develop an identity. He was going through identity crisis and wanted to develop his identity through the wrong means. Now, when we talk about behaviorist approach, behaviorists generally believe that it is our home environment. Somehow, Freudian also talked about the childhood development, but they are focusing more of a childhood, how it was, than just the environment. But when we're talking about behaviorists, they are focusing more on our environment, not only our family members, but our general environment, which include what we are watching on television, what kind of exposure I have to social media, and what socioeconomic status I'm coming from. All these things fall under this category. So, a very famous experiment, that is a Bobodol experiment. What happened in this experiment, that a group of children was shown a movie where in the movie the hero is hitting the Bobodol. The child comes back to the room where Bobodol is there, and the children start hitting the Bobodol very badly because that's what they have seen in the movie. Now, they are imitating, they are observing and acting. So here's an example of social imitation, we can say. So this what happened in our society as well. Domestic violence is a very common example that falls under this category. If there's a huge tendency that a partner or a boy will be a domestic violent if he has seen his father doing the same to his mother, or if the parents are hitting the child so much in their early childhood or even in their growing up years, because that's what he learned that that's how I can show my aggression, by hitting somebody who's less powerful than me. Okay, and the same things will apply to his wife as well, because he's going to watch his wife as somebody who is less powerful to me, who is less in me in so many terms, physically especially. Women are not that strong that men are, so these things happen. But nowadays, women are also hitting up or beating their partners. Same goes to the women as well. So domestic violence comes when you observe an environment where violence is there very directly. Behavioral explanation to crime. All behavior is learned. So yes, behaviorists believe that whether it's a good behavior or a bad behavior, you learn behavior, and deviant behavior or negative behavior are somehow little easy to learn. Direct parental control. Theorists tie delinquency to parents' failure of effective condition their children away from negative behavior. Yes, when parents are not able to control or guide their children about good behavior or telling them that you need to be the good human being, that's when, criminal tendencies are developing. I'll give you a very small and a very beautiful example here. Have you seen that when you're walking, the mother and child are walking together, and a child saw an ant and he got afraid. He said, Ki, Mama, I'm so afraid of this particular ant or this bee, we can say some insect. And the mother just put the feet over it, squeeze it, and kill that. Very indirectly, the mother has taught the child that if somebody is, just because you're afraid of it, they are giving you pain or not, they are danger for you or not, and you are stronger than them, kill it, kill them. So here, very nicely, very, I would say, unconsciously parents are teaching violence to their children, which is leading to negative behavior. Then Gluck has also said that inconsistent and harsh punishment correlates with delinquent children. I told you that domestic violence occur when the child has either seen his parents fighting in certain way, or when the child is being beaten up by their parent in certain way, because he has always or she has always been repressed by their parent, and once he or she comes to that position where they feel that okay, I am more powerful than other, they are going to act in a negative manner. Effective punishment, parenting, monitoring, punishing, and reinforcing behavior correlates with non-delinquent children. Yes, so if there is a good parenting, where a good communication is there, you are nurturing the child, giving love and affection to the child, automatically the delinquent behavior will reduce down. Principles of learning. Yes, so the family context, which says that low socioeconomic status, parental, grandparent lack parenting skills, single parent, difficult child, high crime neighborhood. So, yes, if somebody who has some low socioeconomic status, they also end up in delinquent behavior because they want money and for financial security and in order to save themselves, because they are born in something which tells them survival of the fittest. So, in order to make survive, they sometimes end up in delinquent activity. Then yes, single parent, difficult child, high crime neighborhood. Yes. So if you're living in an environment which you can assume that can be having criminals, for example, slum areas, okay, then it's high chance that you or your child will observe or learn the same thing and act up in the certain manner. So what is important here, that you either, when the supervision of the child is also lacking, you're not able to recognize the deviant act. Then the child at a very young age is screaming, howling, throwing tantrums, and the parent is like, oh, he's just a small child, that's why he's doing it. No, you need to act there only and tell and supervise your child that no, this is wrong. This kind of anger, this is not the right way to show your anger. You cannot hurt another person just because you are angry. Inconsistent, poor use of reinforcement and punishment also results in delinquency. Now, what cognitive psychology say? Cognitive psychology says that humans' ability to engage in complex thoughts influence behavior. Cognition can also be learned. So, yes, what people think, how people think, that's what we are focused here. And cognition are also learned. How to think in a certain way is also learned. Okay. But yeah, your ability to think in a certain way reflects in your behavior. So if you're thinking negatively about somebody, if you're thinking inferior about something, that will going to come in your behavior as well. Now we'll come to Kohlberg's stages of moral development. The Kohlberg says that, coming back to the very third slide, which I have talked about, that says criminals are rational choice. So this is going to tell us about morality. Okay, so Lawrence Kohlberg has talked about three stages of, I think, six stages of moral development. Okay, and when we are not developing with each stage and we are being stagnant at one particular stage, that is the reason why people end up committing crimes. Stage one, right is blindly obeying those with power and authority, emphasizes on avoiding punishment, interest of others are not considered. Now, people who remain stuck in stage one, that they always obey their power or authority. It can come in the form of God also, that, my God has asked me to do something, so I will do it. You see, people in the name of God are killing other people. Okay. Then, the cases where some powerful person is hiring somebody to just kill the other person. They know they are going to be directly the one with behind the bars, but still they do it. Why? Because they just want to obey somebody with authority. Okay, and they believe that by obeying the authority, they will avoid punishment. Okay, and they are not bothered what other people are thinking, what will happen to other, if I kill somebody, what will happen to their family, if they have small children or not. These things are not in their mind. Then second is, right is furthering one's own interest. Interest of others are important only as a way to satisfy self-interest. So when you are in stage two, people who are in stage two, they are less prone to criminal tendencies. Why? Because here you are fulfilling your own interest. Okay. Other interests are important to you, but just as a way to satisfy your own interest. Okay. This can happen, and generally happen with people who are putting up riots and all. Okay, you're taking a group and asking them that, okay, anti-Muslim, anti-Hindu, or anti homosexuals, whatever they are coming up with, to kill them, they should be behind the bar, why they are loving. These people are more interested about their own rights, and then they're making groups with people who will support their own interest and focusing on that particular topic, so that a group is there. You not individually are killing anybody or creating conflict, but yet you are doing the same thing. Moral reasoning, stage three. Moral reasoning is motivated by loyalties to others and a desire to live up to others' standard. Now, here your moral reasoning is only up till, you know, how, what you desire to be. Okay, how loyal you are with other person, or what are your, standards to be with them. Okay, now you are moral, but because of some other's viewpoint. Stage four, right, is following the rules of society and maintaining important social institutions. So now your moral grounds are on the basis of focusing on that what my society wants, and am I doing right things as a social being or not. Then stage five, moral decisions are made by weighing individual right against legal principles. Now here you're more worried about individual rights instead what whole country is going on. So if I wanted to feel safe, women rights are there or not, I'm going to focus on that instead of human rights. Stage six, moral decisions are based on universal decision. So now you're focusing more on human dignity, desire for justice. Now you're coming there for the justice, for the right. So although as we move ahead, Lawrence Kohlberg stage theory just say that why some people commit crime, as you come to stage 4, 5, 6, you are not going to commit crime, because here you are somehow considering yourself a human being and you're worried about other people as well as your own self. But people who remain stuck in stage 1, 2 especially, have high chances of committing crimes, because for them right and wrong is just very individualistic, not a collective approach. Research has shown that criminals tend to be in stage 1, 2. Non-criminals are in higher stages. People in lower stages fear punishment. People in middle stages fear reaction of family and friends. People in higher stages believe in duty of other, universal right. So as I told you, that's what has been covered up. Policy implications of cognitive psychology. Cognitive theory translates easily into practice. Cognitive skill program of teach offenders cognitive skills like moral reasoning, anger management, and self control. Cognitive restructuring attempt to change content of an individual thought. Combination of cognitive behavioral program have a significant success, which is true. Now, if we want to change anybody's behavior, first we need to change their cognitive system. That is how they think. What is their thinking pattern? And when we talk about their thinking pattern, so the cognitive theorists have some programs, for example, teaching the offender about moral reasoning, about anger management, about self control, and restructuring that, you need to change your perspective. You need to be more empathetic. You need to understand what's going on other person, not only be individualistic in your thought pattern. And the combination of CBT definitely helps. Now, Eisen trait theory of personality. As I told you that there are certain traits also, personality traits also, that are related to whether somebody is going to commit a crime or not. So, as in theory of personality argued against sociological theory, criminal behavior results from an interaction of environment and biology. Based on biology, personality, that is temperament. So, we all are born with some inborn genes, with some temperaments that make us more prone to be a criminal. And when that particular temperament combines with an environment that also encourages the same thing, a criminal is there in the society. So Eisen personality theory suggests that he has divided it into four arenas: this unstable and stable, which are basically psychoticism, neuroticism, and extroverted and introverted. So it is believed that people who are high level of introversion and extroversion can be related to crime. Also introduce a P-scale psychoticism to predict criminal behavior. Now we all know that Eisen has talked about extroversion, psychoticism, and neuroticism. What these three things means. Extroversion, people who are very outgoing, who have high risk taking tendencies, and They like to be the attention seekers also. The second is psychoticism. People who are high on psychoticism does not mean that they are psychotic. It only means that they are very impulsive in their approach, very impulsive. Next is neuroticism, people who are emotionally unstable. So, when somebody is high on neuroticism, that means you're emotionally unstable, you have no control over your emotions, and you are high on psychoticism also, which means that you are impulsive, you have to take quick decision. I get angry, I'm going to kill that person, kill it. Okay, that's why a lot of crimes like these happen. If you have heard that, a mother has killed his or her own child while he was not allowing him to comb his hair. These kind of a lot of cases are there around. Okay, and the high level of extroversion is also there. Extrovert people are, because they're risk taking, they're always high in energy and they want to do something which give them a kick in their life. And when all these three personalities are there in a person, plus the environment you are born up with where violence you have seen, or the guns are around you, or you have seen that to survive you have to kill the person. That's the only way out. So you will act in that particular manner. So these traits have been explained. So stable extroverts are easygoing, responsive, lively, carefree, but unstable extroverts are impulsive, irresponsible. Stable introverts are calm, easy-tempered, but unstable introverts are melancholic. They're anxious, always possessing the negative emotions. Of course, if we talk about extroversion, introversion, then extroverts are more likely to be criminals because they are impulsive, thrill seeking, willing to take chances, and maybe less able to internalize society rule because they're like, if society has said not to do it, I wanted to do it. That's when you take risk. Okay, that's why extroverts are more prone of becoming a criminal if given an environment where such kind of a violence or such kind of activities are happening around them. Now, psychoticism is not the same as psychosis, as I told you. It is basically when somebody is impulsive and they are a little cold, they are, uh, not having liking for other person, and they have attraction for unusual, something that is not very common, but is not similar to psychopath or not similar to psychosis also. It's a prime, a very basic symptom for psychopathy, but psychosis is totally different. Psychosis is schizophrenic patients, people who live in a non-real world. Dominant viewpoint today. Crime is a symbolic expression of tension and conflict existing within the psyche of an individual. So, people who are always in the conflict of something, dealing with some kind of a conflict at their place or in their mind, results in criminals. Crime is a result of social environment in which the individual lived. Emphasis is placed in the interaction of both sociological and psychological factors. So definitely, it's not only your inherent biological temperament, it's your environment plus your thinking pattern. How you are thinking, how you are perceiving the information will also result in your criminal behavior. The conclusion: the common emphasis of all psychological theory is on individual. Each theory must be evaluated on its ability to account for criminality. Not all theories are well supported by evidence. Many psychological theories translate well into treatment programs. Now, there are various theories. All the theories are explaining why somebody is committing a crime, but we cannot give reason to only one particular theory that yes, this is the cause why you are committing a crime. Generally, when somebody commits a crime, the cause comes in combination of various theories. Okay, that comes in a combination of a lot of things going on. Okay, and but a lot of psychological theory can work as a treatment program, which will be covered later on. We can use people in treating once we understand the psychological cause. So psychological cause will not always help us to predict, but will help us to reduce or cure the particular behavior. On this note, I will end. Thank you so much. We'll talk more about criminal psychology, how psychopaths and sociopaths are different from each other, how we do the case profiling, what treatment, what a very famous treatment plan going on for treating criminals as a psychologist. So stay tuned for the upcoming classes. Thank you very much.